Howdy, and thanks for watching. I'm just gonna throw this out here. Is it time to replace my prop? If you ask yourself that question, then the answer is probably yes. Anyways, I've got a tiny motor, 25 horsepower on a heavy boat, and I have the original 1992 prop. It's aluminum. It has seen better days. When I got the boat, the prop had all sorts of nicks and tears along every bit of the blades. It had a lot of pitting, and someone had covered that pitting up with a two-part paint, and it made it look pretty smooth, and well, it ran all right. So I removed the paint using a paint remover. I didn't want to use a mechanical process because that would remove metal as well. I didn't have a brass wire wheel, otherwise I would have used that. And I took my file and I cleaned the edges. I didn't sharpen them, but I cleaned them. I removed all the pitting with hand sanding. Then I cleaned everything. I just think this guy spent a lot of time in the parts washer, and I cleaned the hell out of it and repainted it, put it on back on the boat, and well, I went from getting about 18 miles an hour to 20. So I'm not upset with that, but I'm getting some vibrations, not necessarily at high speed, but just kind of chugging along that I feel are caused by the prop. If you look here, you can see divots. This guy's hit his fair share of rocks or stumps. I did want to point out, you'll notice that the paint that I put on there is, well, it's flaking off. Why does your some of you guys repaint your props and you're like, why is the paint coming off? Well, look at this one real quick. This one has the best edge of any of the blades. This one has a huge divot and some deflection in the blade because it's been bent. So what happens is, as these guys spin through the water, they cavitate. Cavitate is, well, you change the density, the pressure of the water. So one side is normal, the other one's negative, one's positive, and the water will boil, it'll pop, and that will actually chip your paint off. So if you've got one prop, or if you got a prop where where the paint's just falling off this guy, probably have some damage that could be repaired. For you guys that have stainless steel stuff, and you see that, well, you probably don't paint your stainless steel ones, but eventually that cavitation will cause some pitting. Go ahead and get it repaired. If it's aluminum, replace it. So this guy has a pressed in hub assembly. You have your rubber hub in the middle here, and that's to absorb the shock. It's basically a coupling, but not quite, because it doesn't use bolts. One thing I noticed about this prop is the vanes that connect the main part of the hub to this center area are thick. They're super thick and they're kind of twisted, and your exhaust goes through there. So everyone looks at that. You can say there's some room for improvement there. Back end wise, You got this goofy fella around the ring that's to assist with the vortex of the water, kind of keep it all pushing in one direction. That's some pretty old school stuff. It works. Don't think it doesn't. But it's time to retire this guy. Probably go to the scrap bin. So, this prop is a 10 by 15. So, one full turn of the blades equals 15 inches of forward momentum in a perfect scenario. So 10 inches in diameter. I went ahead and I got this turning point prop, which I did want to say that it's larger, but it obviously is not as heavy as this assembly, even with the hub that they include. Which is, I was a little surprised by that. But this turning point hub, you read on the website, they have really aggressive cups, and you feel the edge of the blade towards the back end. It bends back. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can, but it's got this bend back. And you know, I could have gone with another 10 by 15, but due to the aggressiveness of this guy, I went ahead and got a, let's go ahead and read this. This is a 10 1/8 by 13. So I should get close to the same RPMs, which were near proper for what I was doing. Maybe a little bit more. The motor has plenty to give. I'm okay with that. Looking on the inside, the exhaust has a lot less to deal with. They claim that's going to be a horsepower increase, and I say probably not. But back into the prop here. Really smart design. They have their own idea of where they want the vortex to be directed. So we'll find out shortly, tomorrow afternoon, on how well this guy does. So they claim that you can turn better because of that aggressive cupping, better backing, and, well, just based on the lack of damage on this one, I should get much better speed. I would like to see myself and one passenger at 22.5, 23 miles an hour on a good plane. You gotta understand, I got an old motor. It's 25 horsepower, so it's doing what it can. It's got great compression, and I'm not arguing with it. Whenever you buy these, you have to also get their proprietary hub assembly. This one has 3 vanes. Pretty much slides right in. You don't have to press it. I would push it in all the way, but I want to put some lubrication in there. And pretty much when you tighten down and torque, this guy's going to set in there properly. I mean, push it in as far as you can. One thing I did want to note is this hub assembly fits the shaft so much better than this guy. This guy's hit some rocks. He's spun over. This is made out of brass. Your shaft's going to be made out of steel. This is gonna roll. And not only did the rubber that holds this in place probably spin about, but also the brass more than once, I'm sure. I mean, it's seen years of usage. So this is going to be solid. This will break before your prop. That's the idea. And this guy was $15 on Amazon. The prop was $65. What I'm going to do is, I mean, $65 for this. You really can't argue. The design, one thing, where the blades come out and where they meet the hub, there's really no interference in this area. When I pull up the older one, you can see this line coming up. It's unnecessary. Not necessarily poor craftsmanship, but it's not above and beyond. This guy seems to be above and beyond. The paint job, they say there's a 5-part process. Looking at it, yeah, it could use some work. But once again, I'm not concerned about paint. So I'm gonna slap this guy on tomorrow, and I'm gonna add my ride with this guy and the GPS to see how fast we can go. Also turning, which they say is much better, especially turning at slow speeds. That's one thing that this guy just didn't give me. I would drop my trolling motor. Some of you guys get in dock areas and you need to turn your boat around. You only got 10 feet to do it, and your motor just doesn't have that grasp on the boat. Hopefully this will improve that, and I won't have to drop my trolling motor to spin me around. Would like to say be careful who you buy these from. I bought them through I'm not gonna say the name, but make sure they're good on their shipping. This I spent over a month waiting on this. It was ridiculous. Anyways, good product, and just keep watching, and soon we'll be out on the water. So here we go. I got the turning point prop installed. Wow, it fit perfect. All the bushings and lock nuts, everything went in perfect. It easy. Met up with the prop shaft perfect. Spins good. So my boat is 1,680 pounds, and it doesn't plane well, but it's my boat and I like to fish it. 25 horsepower. Let's take a look at her on the lake and see how she does. Okay, so took her out on the lake. I could say for the first time, with one extra fisherman and plenty of gear on a heavy boat, this motor ran super smooth. Backing was excellent. Turned better than ever. When they say they have aggressive cups that aid in turning, I believe it. And they say their exhaust is better. Well, I believe it. Once I went to full throttle, I came to a plane easily and quickly. Tried a different couple trimming angles. I found one that was like the sweet spot, and I took a boat that would run at 15 miles an hour with that prior prop and the same amount of weight, and she went up to 22 miles an hour and took turns in half the amount of space that she would normally take. And when it came to backing, I backed into the dock perfect. Normally I do that with my trolling motor, but wow, this guy, honestly, I'm impressed. My whole shot, well, I didn't expect it to be crazy, but about 7 seconds till I was on a full plane. Man, that's 25 horsepower. The motor ran excellent. No vibrations. Once, like, of course it's a two-stroke, so when she's idling, you're going to get vibrations. But once it was in gear, everything, nice harmony. One thing I wanted to point out that I thought was interesting is with the prior prop and the RPMs I ran and the vibration problems, I always had to clean my spark plugs when I got home. So I've got these spark plugs and perfect burn on both of them. No indications of fouling. They look nice. I'm going to leave them in all season. I'm not going to mess with them. Did a fair amount of idling. No carbon buildup, no oil buildup. Just slightly in gear, trolling around. I took a lot of turns just to see how effective it was. And with my prior prop, when I got into a hard turn, I get a down surge in RPMs, and the boat would kind of stutter and shudder around, and I didn't have that problem. So don't hesitate to pick up one of these props. I'm probably going to buy the stainless steel version of this guy and keep it on and keep the aluminum as a backup. Really impressed with it. I would like to say I used the turning point calculator. Put in my information for my boat, model, make, engine, and while I did deviate it slightly, what they recommended, what they did recommend, the fit was perfect, and wow, I'm impressed. I'm gonna have a good season, so don't hesitate to change out your prop. If you feel you need to, you probably do, and you can't go wrong with these guys. I was afraid that with the aggressive cupping that 25 horsepower wasn't going to do it. But man, it's like I have two motors instead of one now. Good product. Got nothing bad to say about it. And I'm glad I took the plunge. This total cost was about $10-15 for the hub assembly and $65 for the prop and $5 for shipping. Only problem I had was my shipper. Took a month to send this out, so next time I will order directly from Turning Point. Calculator works, everything's good. So we'll have a good one, and if you want to go fishing, hit me up. I'll take you out. Bye.